Good morning, dudes. What's up? My computer just shut down. Oh, wait. No, it's up. It's 6:19 a.m. Somebody might be learning about biological warfare. No judging. Just woke up. Yeah, I was just kind of working on these necklaces, the wolf fangs. And I started watching a documentary about Timothy McVeigh and the Oklahoma City bombings. So then I got to thinking, I'm just gonna shuffle cards and talk. All right, I'm looking at the Edgar Allan Poe deck. So David Koresh, Waco, Texas. All right. Timothy McVeigh is the person who set off the bomb in Oklahoma City. Before that, he drove out to Waco, Texas, and watched the whole standoff between David Koresh and the Branch Davidians and the government. And so Timothy McVeigh didn't like what the government did to David Koresh and the Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas. He parked his car way far away and watched the whole stand down. There was people who did, and he was one of them. And then that inspired him to make a bomb and then go blow up a government building in Oklahoma. So I was starting to watch that documentary, and then I heard Seventh-day Adventist. And we could have an earth angel here. Sagittarian energy with temperance. Somebody might move. This is also my card, moving, or somebody might be coming home. And the end of a thing, a whole new cycle is beginning. So, yeah. David Koresh from Waco, Texas, used to be a Seventh-day Adventist. Then he bumped it up one higher and created the Branch Davidians. And so Seventh-day Adventism, if you study religion, if you study theology, if you study cults, if you study anything like that, that could technically be considered a cult. And there's some bullet points for what makes something a cult. And so what makes something a cult is that group, that religion, believes in a modern day prophet being the voice of God. And so Seventh-day Adventist, follow the teachings of a woman named Ellen White. And this religion got started in the 1800s in the United States when a 17-year-old girl got hit in the face with a rock and then just started saying, yeah, no, she speaks for God now. Yeah, she also got kicked in the face by a horse, too. So, gotta remember, in the 1800s, a farm girl got hit in the face with a rock and is now saying she's the voice of God. She's the prophet. and people gobbled it up. So this religion is very fear-based. And so that's another bullet point for, is this religion a cult? And so these religions will be led with fear-based and oppression. So if you don't do what that religion's rules are, you will be burning in hell. You will be, unfavored by God. I had an ex who was raised in this religion. One of his first Sabbath school, they go to church on Saturday, and they call it the Sabbath, kind of like Jewish people. One of his first Sabbath school lessons was about a little boy who was in a tower and wasn't paying attention to their lessons. And guess what God did? Pushed the little boy out of the tower. Yeah. So that's putting fear base into people. And we have to remember, now that particular religion is a huge business. We have to remember religions are businesses. And they're businesses that get huge tax breaks because they're religions. And so that religion has several businesses, entire food lines, everything to pump money out of its followers. There's a huge school, Seventh-day Adventist school, in a small town in Minnesota called Hutchinson. And it almost looks like a little college campus. It's got dormitories. It's a high school. It's got dormitories where students leave their home and then they go to Hutchinson. They live in the dorms and they attend high school there. And I asked a friend of the family who was also raised in that religion, how do they get enough people to fill those dorms? Is there really enough people to fill all those dorms? Enough high school students? And the family member said, well, the religion has had to kind of change their tactics. This is how she said it, yeah. They're getting more black people. Oh, what do you mean? Well, they've done this new thing now. It's called mission trips. Mission trips, yep. Well, it's not that new, but yeah. Recruitment. Where they send people down to Africa to go make a deal with a poor African mother. Hi, we're here. By the name of Jesus Christ, I hear. Poor African mother who lives in a hut? Yeah. Do you want to give your child an opportunity at a really great life? Because if you give us your child, we will take your child back to the United States. We'll give them a private school education. And they can live the American dream. But you can't, because it's a high school. So you'll have to give your child to us. Kind of like an exchange student type thing. Yeah. Do you want your child to live the American dream? Poor African mother. Well, African mother says, of course. So they round up apparently black Africans, bring them back, and enroll them in the school. Well, how's that little African kid gonna pay for the tuition? Tuition's pretty expensive. Let's Google it. Let's Google it. The school is called Maplewood Academy. How much is Maplewood Academy in Hutchinson, Minnesota? Okay. Wow. Type of fees. Registration, $500. Health insurance, $1,050 a year. System administration and access fee is $300 a year. And tuition is $38,000 per academic year. But this African kid don't have $38,000 plus $500 plus $1,050 plus $300. So what do they say? Well, darling, yeah, you can work it off. You can clean the classrooms. You can pick strawberries back in the field that we sell. You can do all this stuff. Yeah, they went down to Africa and got a bunch of slaves for their business. Called indentured servitude. That's what they're doing now. So this kid, their mother says, yes, please give my child the American dream. I want them to have a life beyond this hut with a wood floor. Okay, with a wood floor. Okay. A wood floor might mean something. Now that kid's on the hook for 40 grand a year. They got to work off. This church, this business, yeah, they sell all sorts of stuff. And so they have the slaves doing the stuff for them to sell, telling them they're working off their school tuition, and those kids are in a dorm thousands and thousands of miles away from their family, probably with no ability to call their mother who lives in a hut. So that's the latest plan for that religion. Biological warfare might mean something. So that or nonviolent, I hear nonviolent protest, but conscientious objection might mean something. So when the war happened, people were getting drafted here in the United States. And we're just showing how different people take advantage of different people under the guise of religion. And so a bunch of these Seventh-day Adventists, I think Vietnam, I just heard Korea, they do not believe in picking up arms and shooting someone. I think, is it Full Metal Jacket's about that, the movie? So going to war is absolutely against these people's religion. But they just got drafted. So the Seventh-day Adventist religious leaders worked out a deal with the government. and said, we will send you our little lambs. Yeah, but you can't make them go off to war and pick up a gun. But we'll make a deal with you. You can test biological warfare on them. So it's true. This really happened. This is not top secret. A lot of people just don't know about it. It was called White Coat Project or Operation White Coat. And so the church sent all their boys who got drafted to Fort Detrick here in the United States. And what these people had to do was go into a room, and my daughter's grandfather had to do this. Go into a room that had this huge ball thing in it. He said they called it the 8-ball. And you go in and you put your face in this thing. You put a mask on and you put your face in this thing. And all of a sudden, they spray right in your face. Tularemia, rabbit fever, anthrax, all different kinds of biological warfare, and then they study you after to see what happens to you. Now, there's some propaganda videos that the United States government put out about this, and I'll link those videos. They're very, very interesting. I'll link a whole bunch of information about Operation White Coat, or sometimes it's called Project White Coat, and it's biological warfare testing. And so, my daughter's grandfather got tularemia blown into his face, and he said he was so sick for about 2 weeks, he thought he was going to die. They all thought they were going to die. In the propaganda video, it shows them all hanging out playing piano and just kind of having a party while they're sick. Yeah, no, it wasn't like that at all, he said. And then after he went through his thing, then he had to his job, like then you get moved on to monitoring rhesus monkeys who are getting this done. And so after he did it, then he had to take rectal temperatures of rhesus monkeys who are getting it done too. So now, all these years later, the Seventh-day Adventists who partook in this, some of them think, not like stuck up. They're like, I'm a war hero. Like, I did my service. I didn't do conscientious objection where I ran off to Canada and that kind of thing. No, I did my service the way I could, and I took it in the fucking face. I'm proud of my service for my country. And then the other half of the people who this happened to said, how dare this religion force us to do this? I was a little lamb, and they sent me there, and they used me as a guinea pig. And so all the people who had this done to them, this is how the government spanks you. They had 30 days to report any side effect. And so, like, for example, my daughter's grandfather has a fungus in his lung that's been there for a long time, and her grandmother swears it's from that. And they've tried to go through he's had cancer, all sorts of different things. I think he got one more thing tested on him too. And the government said, no, you had 30 days to report any side effect. Way back then. Yeah, none of your illness is covered. So there's people who are feeling like victims by their church, and other people who are feeling like they did what they were meant to do. Like American Horror Story, or some kind of movie might be made or something about this topic. It's very interesting. And when you really see what propaganda is, like the United States does propaganda too. All right. So Spirit wants us all to learn about Operation White Coat, Project White Coat. Maybe think, yeah, if your religion said, yeah, you're fucked either way, yet you're drafted. But we don't know, you can't do what everybody else is doing. No, you have to take some fucking anthrax to the face. Would you do it? What would you do in a case of war? It's thought exercises. Would you go off with everybody else, pick up your gun and hope for the best? Would you stay here in the United States and say, no, my pastor told me to take some fucking biological warfare in the past life regression? Okay, a past life regression might mean something. Take biological warfare in the fucking face. Yeah, I gotta do it. My pastor told me. Like, what would you do? Now, all these people did that. Yeah. On the very beginning starting line of that religion, because a 17-year-old girl got hit in the face with a rock. She decided, if you are very devout, strict, SDA, jewelry is vain. You're not supposed to wear jewelry. Bicycles, you're not supposed to ride a bicycle, you're not supposed to play cards. You're supposed to go to church on Saturday, the Sabbath, like Jewish people. You can't eat any bottom feeders, shellfish, anything like that, kind of like Jewish people. No pork. No caffeine. His side, my ex's side of the family refers to any pop with, or soda. We say pop in Minnesota. Any soda with caffeine is medicine pop. These people don't drink coffee. They've never had a piece of bacon. And so that's why that was an excellent base for this biological warfare testing. These were all people who hadn't tainted their vessel with alcohol, caffeine, nicotine, anything like that. Perfect test subjects for biological warfare. They had the little lambs. And they all thought they were going to die. That's how sick they felt. So, yeah, biological warfare. Pretty fucking creepy. All right. Well, there's the message. A little history lesson. And you may be thinking, oh my God, how did this happen? I never heard about this. I never learned about this. Is this top secret? No, it's not top secret. And I'll put all sorts of information down in the comment section of this reading. And let's learn about and do some thought exercises. What would you do? All right, peace out. Love ya. So I just looked up some more information. I'm like, that is really expensive. $38,000. I Googled some more. There might be 2 Maplewood Academies. I don't know what the tuition is at Maplewood Academy. Let's see what this is. The Maplewood Academy, yeah, this is a different one. The $38,000 one is a different Maplewood Academy. This is in, the $38,000 one is in Canada, Ontario. So that might mean something. The Seventh-day Adventist one costs $12,000 to go to a year. So it's still a whole buttload of money, yeah, for a little African kid to come up with. So there's a reason why that Canada school popped up. So Ontario or Canada might mean something. All right, so there's the correct information. It costs just over $12,000 to go to the per year to go to the Seventh-day Adventist school. Okay, here I am again. So yeah, a lot of times religions that are fear-based, nihilistic religions, fear of God, cult-based religions, yep. And Mormonism also falls under that. Bullet points for, is this a cult? And I'm not trying to offend anybody with their religion. It's indoctrination that you're kind of born into. All right. So these people believe that it's all about the second coming of Jesus Christ. And so they have very different, and this is what dogmatic oppression will do. It's a fear-based religion that if you piss off God, yeah, you're fucked. And there's only a certain amount of room in heaven. And when the second coming of Jesus Christ comes, yeah, if you're not one of those, you're fucked. So when somebody dies in that religion, the first SDA funeral that I attended was a beloved family member, and everybody was very sad. What other religions and other people get when, like, say grandma dies or something, you get that calmness inside, that grandma is now my guardian angel. Grandma's in heaven and she's looking down upon me and helping me, guide me through my life, my struggles, all that kind of stuff. This religion specifically teaches that that's not the case at all. When grandma dies, grandma goes into this thing called soul sleep. And grandma will be in her casket in the ground, zombie vampire style, waiting for the second coming of Jesus Christ. And when that happens, grandma will wake up, come out of the ground, and ascend up to heaven. But until then, it's a big giant pause. And grandma is in her soul sleep. So you don't get any sort of comfort when people have passed away. No, they're just in a pause in the ground. So the first funeral I went to, and this is just showing how a religion will mindfuck people and put oppression onto you. And people who are raised in this religion don't see that this is abnormal. That's all they know. And so when I was at the funeral, a lot of times at funeral homes, before the funeral, you will go into like the immediate family will go into a smaller little room, and the pastor or priest or whoever will kind of do a small prayer with the family and kind of prep them for the funeral about to start. It's a small, intimate thing at first, right before the funeral starts, for just the family, the close family members. And I've partaken in different religions and been in the room with that kind of pre-prayer type thing. And it was very comforting. The priest or pastor or whatever with these other religions, they were prepping these people for a very difficult hour that's about to happen, and talking about the loving grace of God, how their spirit is here with us, all that kind of stuff, to really try to put a salve on this hurt and prep these people for this very difficult thing that's about to start. And that's the grace of God. That's helping set people free. This specific religion, my daughter was a toddler at the time. I'd never partaken in any. I absolutely refused to be included in any of this religions, get-togethers, anything like that. I refused to allow my daughter to get baptized, any of that kind of stuff. She will not be part of this religion. But we went to the funeral, and they said, immediate family, come in. I'm holding my daughter. It's time for the opening prayer. I put my head down. The pastor says, Satan is in the room with us today. I literally almost dropped my kid. I was like, what? That was the last thing I expected to say. Satan is in the room with us today. They teach that Satan rules death. And this pastor or priester, I hear? We're going to priester? This pastor was doing the opposite that every other religion that I've kind of partaken with in funerals do. And once again, this is a fear-based religion. But these people have gobbled up the story that they've been indoctrinated into, and they don't understand how perverted this is. And so I watched a family member who was absolutely devastated, uncontrollably sobbing on a couch. Had nothing in her heart that this family member is, up in heaven with God right now, whatever. No, that person's in the ground, well, soon to be in the ground, in soul sleep. No, they're zombie style over there. Just total trauma. Abnormal rules. Complete food oppression, thought oppression. I had an in-law who had cancer, and we have the Rochester Mayo Clinic here in Minnesota, and it has the best cancer doctors in the world. And she went and got her cancer treatment, and she beat her cancer. It went into remission. And her doctors gave her this beautiful pin. It was like a gold pin, I believe, and I think it might have had a few little gems in it. And that's what the doctors at the best hospital in the world, you could even say, give their patients once they've beaten cancer. This beautiful pin. And I watched this woman and her daughter sit on my couch looking at the pin and discussing amongst themselves if it would be all right for her to put it on her jacket, or if it would not be okay with the church. I just kept my mouth shut. But the next holiday that I saw them, I said, whatever happened with the pin? She said, oh, well, I went and told my pastor, I showed my pastor and asked him if I could wear this pin. And here's what the pastor did. He inserted himself into her whole thing. Well, of course you can. I will anoint it with oil, and then you can wear it. And she was pleased as he anointed it with oil, and now I can wear it. So this pastor inserted himself into her own reward thing, took her thoughts, her ability to make up her own mind about whether or not she deserves to wear the pin, and said, I will decide for you. I will do my anointing of the oil on your pin. And now I have become a major player. Yeah, now I'm just as important as your doctors. And she felt like the pastor did her good. No ability to see the mind fuckery. She earned that pin, and she should be able to wear it whether or not that pastor says. That pastor should have nothing to say about that. It's none of his business. But he made it his business. Oh, he made it his business. He made it so he's on the top of that. And now it's holy. All right, well, there's a message. Something may have taken a really long time to get started. So I think this is the last part of the message. Don't forget, all of my readings are interactive. So this is only the first part of the reading. There's a whole interactive part down in the comment section of this reading, where I will have Starseed transmissions. It's just like how when I do names, I'll have keywords, and I'll type those keywords into a search, and up to the 5 most current readings with that keyword in the title will pop up. I'll copy and paste the titles, and that'll be your Starseed transmission for those words or that phrase. And that's with every reading. So if you're only watching my channel and you've never looked at the comment section, you're missing half the experience. Now, if you're afraid to click, because I link to information and different things. If you're afraid to click on the link, I get it. I also put the title of the video, so you can copy the title and put it in a search on YouTube, and that it'll pop up for you, and then you can feel comfortable clicking that link or watching. If you choose to click the links that I'm posting, it'll bring you right to the video. I'm not nefarious. I'm not doing any sort of trickery or anything like that. All right, there's your message. So I just pulled up some information. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. This is private school review. Yeah, because I'm like, now I see that it's saying the tuition is anywhere between $7,000 something for elementary school up to the average private school. Let's see. It's saying like this, the private school for this particular school that I'm talking about, elementary school is like $7,000 something. And then it's $7,916 for elementary schools. And then here's another review thing that says the tuition for the highest grade offered is $19,100. It's hard to figure out what the exact tuition is for this school. But I'm looking at private school review. Okay. It offers grades 9 through 12. So I don't know what the elementary school thing is. Total students, 92 students. Student body type, co-ed. Percentage of students of color. Like how many black Africans do they have? Percentage of students of color, 73%. 73% of their students now are students of color. Students by grade. Grade 9 had, it looks like maybe 32 students. Grade 10 looks like maybe 26 or 27. It's all a graph. Grade 11 had 18 students, 17 or 18. And grade 12 looks like maybe 29 students. Total classroom teachers, 7 teachers. Student to teacher ratio, 13:1. Admission deadline, there's no deadline. Diversity, it has the highest percentage of students of color. Straight from Africa. Here's some perks. Students at Maplewood Academy enjoy small class size with dedicated teachers. Rigorous academic challenges students in a college prep curriculum. Hands-on lab sciences such as chemistry, biology, and physics give the students a strong background for their college courses. Students are given opportunities to form friendships through extracurricular activities such as ASB events, intramurals, and organizations. Here's our phone number if anybody wants it. So who knows how much it costs, but whatever it is, it's a lot of money for an African kid who has to work off their tuition and has no way to get back to Africa. It's scary. Oh my God. A chapter book might mean something. I hear Bach, I hear Beck. Okay. Or a cereal thing might mean something. Okay. Please hold. Okay. That's it. That's all I got. I'm just waiting to see if Spirit... Yeah, no, I don't have a microphone in my ear. I'm not just listening to somebody telling me to say something. No, I'm actually, yeah. So how am I different than the voice of God? Like me. It's intentions behind it. So for example, Ellen White said, I am the prophet. I am right there with God. Yeah. God me. Yeah, well, maybe like, oh. And then all of you. So when I'm channeling, when I'm doing my psychic work, and I say spirit, spirit can mean whatever it needs to mean for you. It can mean spirit, source, God, your ancestors, aliens, whatever it means. I am not saying I'm right there with God. I am saying I'm a boombox for spirit. And for me, spirit is the force to all of the above of everything I just listed, including the force. And so when I'm doing my spiritual work, I'm turning on my antenna and I'm just catching whatever information spirit wants me to say. I don't use what I say to oppress other people, to get them to spend money, to get them to be under my control. That's the difference. So I'm not saying I am the prophet of God. No, I'm saying I hear a microwave. I am a boombox for spirit, and I'm just repeating what information is coming in. I'm not making it up in my head and making up false rules and things to oppress other people. No. And that's the difference. I'm just the messenger. Yeah. And that person claimed that they were the prophet. Those are two different things.